Hey guys, welcome back to NK's Mystery Box, and today we have a new mystery video, and you've peeked inside. You've opened the mystery box, you've peeked inside, and we have another album review. But before we get started with that, I just wanted to give you guys a quick shout out for being patient. Like, thank you so much. I know I haven't posted like within a good couple weeks. I've been dealing with a lot of sicknesses flowing through me. I feel the other day we did the Wish review thing where I did some stuff, and then it seemed like after that I just start like slowly not feeling good, and then like the last couple of days I was just flat out bleh. So then I finally was able to, and not on top of that, on top of feeling bleh, I was still trying to like film stuff for the 100th video, which is now out. You guys can go and watch that. I posted it yesterday, but by the time you see this, it's probably like 2 days ago. So did that, and then on top of that I was kind of like trying to figure out, like, is it the right time to post the 100th? Because as you guys know, there's a little conflict with that. And if you didn't catch the last video before the 100th, where I kind of explained it, here's kind of what's been going on. So, physically in my channel, there's like 97, 98 videos, okay? I knew I was coming up on the 100th. But the counter on YouTube, every time I would post a video, it kept going, despite the fact that I've deleted videos over the last couple of years, either because I was vlogging and I said something that I didn't want to say, and looking back on it in the future, I was like, shouldn't have said that, I'm deleting it, or just little things here and there, like there's a glitching error, whatever. So, point being is, I'm sure I've posted more than 100, but over the course of the years, I've just, it's fluctuated. Well, that fluctuation never affected the counter for YouTube. So if you were to look up my channel, it was already at 99 videos, even though I was like 4 or 3 behind. Like, it wasn't like a whole lot, but it was just like 4 or 3 behind. So finally, I kept thinking like, okay, what am I going to do to work it up so that way there's physically 100 videos in my channel? But then I'm like, well, you know what? On some level, somewhere along the lines, I must have made my way up to 99. So the next video I post is 100. So I was kind of busy finishing up that and getting it done for you guys so that way we could have a proper celebration of 100. And I'm sorry if I'm kicking the table and causing my stand to shake. I'm not quite sure if I am or not. So with that being said, go enjoy that video if you haven't already. I'll be sure to link it in the description below because it's a celebration. And yeah, you're going to think that I filmed this and the last parts of my video and all in one day. I did not. I found this lovely sweat jacket at Walmart for like $5. It was on clearance, and I love it because it's like, I love hoodies, but it's also like short sleeve, so I'm not like too hot. It's the perfect summer combination. So if I'm wearing this in videos, do not get the impression that I haven't cleaned. It's just a case where I really like this and I'm comfortable. So anyway, so the album that we have picked for today, now if you guys haven't already, for the last 2 months, I have done an album review based on a random album in my collection. I have a vast, ever so slowly expanding collection of vinyl records and 45s and stuff like that. And so I got the idea back when ABBA was releasing their stuff for Voulez-Vous for the 40th anniversary. I kind of got the idea like, I could sit down and review an album at random. And so that's what we do every month now, is kind of review an album. So back in June we did ABBA Voulez-Vous because that's when all the stuff came out for that. So I figured it tied in perfectly. So that was somewhat random, somewhat not random. And then July's album review focused on a recent album purchase, which was Dirty Dancing. We actually did a store follow around and I bought it, and I was kind of reviewing it in that video. So that's how that came about for July, in case you're like, well, I don't remember there being a formal video that said album review. It's in the poor man's Walmart shopping haul video if you want to look and see what last month's was. So last month was Dirty Dancing, and then this month is the Bad Animals album by Heart. And I've been in a bit of a Heart kick lately. Like, I've been listening to their stuff on Spotify. I recently bought like their Essential Collection CD for my new vehicle, so that way I would have music to listen to. And it's like a 2-disc thing. It's like their 70s work and then their 80s stuff and then some of the 90s. And as you know, Heart is still around today. They're still touring, and I know this for a fact because I was watching one of their music videos the other night just for relaxation, and there was like tickets nearby me. They're coming soon, and it's like $125 a ticket. So I don't think I'll be going and doing that. That will not be a vlog that we ever venture into in this future. I mean, maybe someday, but not this year because that's just way too out of my price range. So I figured being that I was in a bit of a hard kick, I figured I would review the only album of theirs that I actually have. And so it is a random album review. It is very random. As in I put out 4 other albums and I just sat there and looked at them. I picked up like 3 other albums at random out of my collection and just stared at them, and this one kept calling out to me. So I figured perfect. So here's the jacket. I keep holding it up and putting it down, holding it up and putting it down. So here's the album jacket, cover, whatever you want to call it. And it just looks like I'm looking at the reflection in my phone and on the TV screen. So I know that I'm actually like in frame or whatever. But it's basically just pictures of like tribal animals, kind of like almost like African tribal type symbols from like old time BC type shit. And then on the back, we have a lovely pictures of the band, Heart, Nancy and Wilson, and then the dudes that followed her throughout the years. I don't really focus on guitarists that much. I just focus on the faces of who the vocalists are and stuff like that. I'm terrible with bands sometimes. So, a little overview of the album itself. It was released in 1987. It is the 9th studio album that Heart did, and it was the sequel album to their self-titled album, Heart, that was released back in 1985. So this was their next follow-up album that was basically capitalizing on their success of the previous album, because that album had songs like These Dreams, What About Love, like all their famous 80s-esque music is pretty much on that album, and then it slowly, like a lot of their 80s-esque hits kind of trickle into this album too. Like it kind of continues on and then kind of formulates into what the rest of it is. And yes, that happened. So on this particular album, the track list is Who Will You Run To, Alone, There's the Girl, I Want You So Bad, Wait for an Answer, that's side 1. Then on side B, you have Bad Animals, You Ain't So Tough, Strangers of the Heart, Easy Target, and RSVP. So those are the track listings. And then, so anyway, so this was the 9th album. And then after it was released, it made triple platinum in like the 90s, because that's what the Recording Industry Association of America, which I think that's what RIA is. I may have stumbled a couple words. But anyways, they made this album triple platinum in like 90s, I believe, from what I read on Wikipedia. I am just getting, like, literally, like, last couple days, I am just getting into a bit of a Heart kick. So I don't know a whole lot about them. I just know that I did like a couple songs off this album when I initially found it. So I was like, yeah, sure, why not? But now I'm kind of like starting to research them a little bit, because I'm kind of low on newer bands, new to me anyway. So, and then this reached number 2 in the U.S. Billboard 200, like the top charts, 200, whatever you want to call it. It peaked at number 2 altogether as an album, and then top 5 everywhere else. So this album did pretty good, but not as good as the previous album that this was trying to capitalize on. So there's that. So this particular album, and I know I keep saying like this particular album is this. Well, I mean the album in whole, but this particular one, the one that I'm holding, I found at a antique store. Like I said, I have always listened to Heart. Like I like Barracuda, and I like some of their 80s songs, but my mom always listened to them more than me, so I was kind of like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll listen to them. And like she had a greatest hits CD, and it was like the very cheap, like the $10 Walmart one. The one that I got was from Walmart, but it was like $20. Either way, it was like the 20th Century Masters or something, like the compilation CD of that. And it had some of their stuff on it, and I kind of liked it, kind of didn't. I figured like some of their stuff was just like really hardcore rock, and I'm very ever rarely in a hardcore rocky mood. I kind of like more pop rock type stuff like ABBA, or you guys know what I like by now, I think. Anyway, so point being is this album kind of has more of that poppy 80s sound that I like, and so does the one previous, and so I don't have that one yet, but I'm looking for it. So I'm keeping my eye open when I go into antique stores or something. So anyway, so found this album in the antique store here in town when I like first moved into town and stuff like that. Me and Andrew went, and they have a whole room that's just records, and I would love to go back soon to see if anything new has kind of crept its way in there. So the jacket is in good condition. It feels different though. A lot of my albums, they're the more of the glossy, thinner paper like picture kind of jackets, I guess. Like it's more of like a more smoother texture, if you know what I mean. And this is more of like cardstocky, like it's thicker. It feels different. It just feels different. I don't know why. But it's in good condition. It's not that bad. I mean, the corners are creased a little bit, and there's like a couple of bends from whoever owned this previously before me. And as you can see, I paid $6 for it. And I think, I always say that most albums on Amazon, they can be up to $20, depending on who you get it from, because, they contact antique stores too, and different record stores in the area and stuff like that. So anyway, so when you pull it out, you get this lovely record sleeve, and it's just got more pictures of the band. I do like this picture up top of the girls. I do like that. I think it's a very nice picture. It looks like they're like it's either in the fall time, because it just, you look at this picture and the shade, like the tone, it's like very bright colored but blue, like just like they're outside or something, and it looks like they're cold. Like that's just like, I'm like, oh, it looks cold out in that picture, like a dimwit, like, oh, it's cold. No, but anyway, for some reason I like that picture. I like how they look in that particular picture. And then of course there's the guys down here, and this guy here, I swear his hair looks like mine when it's grown out, and I'm like getting up in the morning, like that's my look right there. And then on the back you have like all the lyrics and stuff. And then on this one with the picture side, it just basically tells you like who's in the band, and then like thank you to different people and stuff like that. So it's like they're saying like, hey, thanks for helping us with the album type thing. And then of course we have the disc, and I feel like I'm jumping around a little bit. So yeah, as I was saying, I found this in the antique store. So this is side one, and they both look the same on each side. And I gave it a quick listening to today before I reviewed it, because I figured I'd need to listen to everything. I mainly got this album because there was one particular song at the time that I was somewhat like, if it came on my phone or whatever, I would not change to the next song, basically, because I have those moments where it's like, yeah, I'm not going to listen to this today. So anyway, I found this album, and I was like, ooh, it's got the song on it that I've been looking for, which is There's the Girl, which is track number 3. And that song is my favorite, and I actually performed that song for you guys in the 100th video. So if this gives you more incentive to check that out, go ahead and do it. So anyway, found this, and it was $6, and I'm like, sure, why not? And I don't even remember if I got any other albums that day or if it was just this one for that particular trip. But point being is I paid $6, and it's in good shape. The record itself is in good shape. It's not terribly, like, it doesn't jump any, and it's not terribly crackly either with its sound. It's very clear. Whoever had it before me took very good care of it. So like I said, the reason why I bought it was for the song There's the Girl, because that was one of my favorite songs of Heart so far. So got it for that. So that's my number 1 pick for side A, I guess. And then also songs that I kind of liked on this album were Want You So Bad, which is later on in side A, and then on side B, the title track Bad Animals. Those are my go-to songs for this album, I think. And what I'm going to start doing too, being that we're reviewing all these albums, is if I don't know a whole lot about them, I'm going to obviously do my research before getting on camera for you guys. But I figured I would write it down on like a little piece of paper like this, so that way I can kind of like look at it when I'm telling you guys stuff. And then I'm going to just slip it in here, so that way I always have it to kind of remember. And, you know, then that way it's a sign that I've done the album too. In case I ever like randomly pick it, I don't remember if I did this album or not. But I'm usually good about remembering what I did for YouTube, so we're good. So that's dropped in there. So, Heart has made a lot of albums, and unfortunately I only own this one, so I'm not going to rate, like, this is my top one out of all the albums that I own, out of, you know what I mean? Like I did with the ABBA album, if you were here for that. I don't own every ABBA album, but I do have a majority of them, so I do kind of like to rank the stuff based on what I think of it. So, and I figured I would do that with every artist. Like, if I have more than one of their album, I'll rank it based on that. So, right now, this is the top one of my choice because it's the only one I got. But if I do end up finding and purchasing the album previous to this, it'll probably knock this down to like number 2 or something. But overall, I do like this album. I do find it it's very hardcore rocky in some spots, like, you know, kick your ass type shit. But at the same time, it's very pop and like lovey-dovey, stuff like that. And I always love music like that, especially if I'm not feeling good, which is probably why I've been in a hard kick so lately, because I'm still getting over whatever ailment has made me feel exhausted and sickly. And I just, you know, whatever. So that is the album review today. I'm sorry it's kind of all over the place. I'm kind of, like I said, I'm tired and still getting over whatever's going on. But I want to get back in the habit of doing weekly videos based on whatever I can find to do. I'm still looking for stuff to try out, different items and stuff like that. I'm thinking next probably either next paycheck or the paycheck after. So in a couple of weeks, I'm going to order a cat carrier, which is going to be, it's like one of those backpacks that has like a bubble in it and the cats can look at it, because I wanted to get it for Princess and I want to try it. So that may be the next item we try out if I don't see anything before then in the stores or whatever, you know what I mean? So thank you guys so much for watching today. Give this video a like if this is one of your, if I'm currently reviewing one of your favorite albums. And rank wise, if I had to rank out of all my albums that I have in total, I think I would give this album a 25. Let's just give it that. Like, out of 100, 25 is my rank for that. It's not terrible, but it's not my favorite, if you know what I mean. So if I'm in a mood, I'll listen to it. But I should probably go through and just like count all my albums and just to get a general number of like how much I have. So that way I can give you guys like a better rating system, because I feel like 25 out of 100, that's a pretty shitty rating. So I'm going to take a random guess right now just by eyeballing it and say I at least have 50. So, you know, 25 out of 50. So mid-range. I'm in the middle of the rank with this album. It's a good album, but it's not my go-to album if I'm in a bad mood, or if I'm just wanting to listen to that particular album. You know, my go-to album has yet to be revealed. Or it probably has been revealed. I probably have told you before. But anyway, so thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the video with a like if this is your favorite, like I said. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thank you so much. Bye.